This is a review of a Java program in which we can get text from the user and then display whatever they type. Since we're going to get information from the user, we have to switch this to interactive so they can type down here. If your internet's not working fast, you can always turn this off and just type in the inputs in advance right here. But I'm going to go turn that on, and I'm logged into JDoodle. So I'm going to click here. It's where all my projects are. Once you're logged in, you can save things. So I'm going to go up and create a new one just so you know how to do it. Yes, I'll clear the current project. And since there was nothing there, just kind of set it up like this. I'm going to call this one Getting User Input. First thing I'm going to need is an import statement that says util, not until. That's an abbreviation for utility. And this is some pre-made Java that we can bring in from the Java libraries that will allow us to get user input over here at the command prompt. Java doesn't like spaces in names of stuff. That's why with compound words I smush them together and capitalize every successive word. So I can run it just by clicking execute, but I can also save as well, save my project. And what's cool is we no longer have, this doesn't have to match. So I'm just going to call this user input with scanner, something like that, so I know what it's going to be. If I wanted to find it, there it is. So that's already open. Then I need my main method. You can copy this in from another program. I'm going to hit enter a bunch. And step one on our programs, those two slashes make a comment, by the way, is to create variables and objects. So since we're going to get user input in the form of text, I'm going to create a string with a capital S. Then I need to give it a name. I'll call it user input. And since I don't have anything yet, I'm just going to put quote, quote. Then I need to create a scanner object. Call this I. You can call it anything you want. Prompt input getter. I'll call it I. That's just the name of a variable or object. Equals new scanner. System with a capital S dot in. And that creates an object based on this. So that's the pre-made stuff we got in. That's a tool for getting input. And this is a string variable named user input. You can do something shorter if you want. So step two will be to get the input. So we can do it like this. I, which is what the user's going to type in, other way around, user input is equal to whatever we read from our input box, our input prompts. Next line with a capital L. This saves what the user types. And it saves it in user input. Well, the one thing I'm not reviewing in these tutorials is how to fix errors, but I can help you with that. That'll come along as you get better. These blank lines don't make a difference. I'm just doing this to make it cleaner for you. Then our last step, we would do logic and math here if we were doing that kind of stuff. But always our last step is to display output. And we can do that with the old system.out.println. Ooh, I almost forgot to, we need this as well to ask the user to enter something. So this just saves with user types. It doesn't tell them anything. So that's going to prompt them what's their favorite movie. Whatever they type in is then saved, and we can display it by doing your favorite is, put a blank space there so it doesn't jam everything together, plus user input. And I can put spaces before or after the plus here. It doesn't matter for the computer, but it makes it easier to read. One thing you never want to do is hit enter in the middle of quotes. See how that changed the color? It no longer, that'll throw off Java. If we needed to hit enter, we could do it before or after the plus, but we don't in this case. Okay, now to run it and test it, I'm going to execute, which is going to save, check for errors. What is my favorite movie? Star Wars. And theoretically, if this works fast enough, my favorite movie is Star Wars. If I had an error, for instance, I'm missing a semicolon on line 15 there, and I try and run the program, it's going to try and help us with an error message. Line 15, so that's in my program, getting user input, line 15, error, semicolon expected, and then it's probably at the end here trying to point where the error is. So yeah, this is pretty helpful. Sometimes it's not, sometimes it is helpful. So I'm going to put that semicolon there, rerun it, and I should be good to go. Oh, if this was running really slowly and I didn't want to do the interactivity there, I could pre-do it by typing a stupid movie Tootsie. So we know we get a different answer. It's my favorite movie. It grabbed that input and displayed it. That's only to use if your internet's slow. Otherwise, do the regular interactive way. All right, that's all I got.